Hey guys, how's it going? Eli here, back with another video where today we're going to be having a conversation about how to offload your Pokemon product when you're finally ready to sell. This is going to be for strategies of both the short term, medium term, and long term. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So as always, got to get out of the way. We are doing weekly giveaways each and every week. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed to the YouTube channel and leave a like and comment down below on any of the 3 videos we post each and every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're having 3 winners. Current pack giveaway prizes are each winner is going to be receiving 8 Fusion Strike booster packs. Like I mentioned before, as we continue to grow, we'll be giving away more and more packs. Next milestone goal is 2,500 subs. On top of the fact of the matter that with the upcoming set Brilliant Star, that's going to be the packs we're going to be transitioning to giving away when that happens. Now, one last thing I do want to kind of get out of the way as well before I get absolutely flamed by Travis. I do profusely apologize for not streaming on Thursday. I don't know what happened, but I kind of just got hit under the weather. If I'm being completely honest, I've been really sleep deprived recently. I got about 2 hours of sleep last night, so I think it really just caught up to me the past couple of days. I'll be making sure to officially go back to streaming again on Tuesday. Plus, I officially got monetized fully, got approved for the partner program, so at that point, it's just a missed opportunity on my part to now take advantage of that for the live stream. But now, jumping into the video. So, when asking the question, what do I mean by short-term, medium-term, long-term? So short-term, we're really going to focus on selling bulk cards, how to sell your bulk cards. Specifically, if you're someone who wants to do breakers or for someone who opened your booster box product and you want to just know what the most efficient way to offload your, commons, uncommons, and rares that are non-holos are. Or let's say that, for the medium term, you're saying to yourself, you got in an evolving size on $100 and you're wanting to offload it maybe here or in the next, couple of months in case, we don't get a reprint in the next couple of months and it goes to 140, 150, or let's say for the long term, 3 to 5 year plus, like whatever your time frame is, we're going to be breaking down and going in depth over those 3. Now, for those people that don't know, I've talked about this actually, a little bit in a previous video called 3 types of investors. Now that was, if you want to go back, you can go back and watch that video. I really break down what the 3 types of investors are, what their incentives are, and what they just overall kind of look for when it comes to their investment strategy. Now with that being said, this is going to be less kind of focusing on that aspect and more just adding on to it in regards to how I personally would look at selling product when at the short term, medium term, and long term. Now, when talking about the short term, or more specifically talking about, I just opened a booster box and I have a bunch of bulk, or I just opened a couple of, booster packs, whether it be from, elite trainer boxes, blisters, anything, right? Just open some packs. What, of course, is the most efficient way to get rid of your bulk? Now, there's a couple of ways I like to go about it personally. Number 1, if you want to do this and you really want to make the most out of it, in my personal opinion, I think sorting your cards is something that's very important. Obviously, for those who don't know, there is, of course, the kind of pack trick where you take 4 from the back and put it in the front. What you actually do when you do that is you put the energy in the front, then you put all 3 uncommons that you're guaranteed in the pack. That for me actually makes it easier because I like to sort my uncommons out and then leave all the commons, put them off to the side for bulk, and then my last 2 cards, of course, are going to be my reverse holo and my holo slot. Now with that being said, what is so important about a lot of these uncommon cards, specifically trainers? Well, as you guys can see, there are a lot of very competitively viable cards such as Adventure Discovery. That card is going for upwards on market price of $1.21. You're telling me that if I find an uncommon trainer, I open a pack, right? Let's say I don't get anything. I get absolute garbage. Well, if I myself am buying a booster box, right? For, let's say I bought a Fusion Strike booster box for $90 and you divide that by 36. You're telling me that I'm spending about $2.50 on a pack. This right here is going to recoup at least 50%, of course, gross speaking. Is going to recoup about 50% of your loss on that pack if you did not pull a holo. So that's absolutely huge. Not to mention the fact of the matter, you can get up to, because you get 3 uncommons, you can get up to 3 of your trainer cards in a pack. With that being said, as you can see, Cram-O-Matics going for almost a full $1, Quick Ball going for around 40 cents, Battle Pass, and so on and so on. And even if you don't get trainers, which obviously you want more trainers because they're going to be the most expensive, you can still pull some uncommon cards worth 16 cents, 15 cents, 10 cents, 10 cents. And you might say to yourself, like, okay, 10 cents, not a big deal. Like, why would I care in regards to, having 10 cents on a product? Well, it's funny. I actually just opened and did an experiment not that long ago where I opened a full case of Fusion Strike booster boxes, really just trying to see like the overall kind of average, price of the pulls we were going to get for the main pulls. And what we kind of came to the conclusion, main pulls being Vs, VMAXs, full arts, alternate arts, came out to almost around $300 in value. Now, of course, if you would like to do the math, you can say to yourself, okay, Eli, if you're spending about $90 a booster box, because yes, that's how much I'm buying it from my distributor, and you're saying to yourself, okay, $90 a box, you bought 6. That's about $540. I still have to make $240 worth of value. If you're saying to yourself, your whole intention is not to recoup, not to, open to sell, but you're trying to open to just, enjoy the product, but you still want to recoup some of your losses, being able to look at that from a financial, like statistical perspective is something that's very important in my personal opinion. So now the big old question is, what is the most efficient way and the best way to do it? So like I said, how I personally like to do it is I like to sort all the uncommons, and then I take the uncommon regular cards, I sort them, and then I take the trainers, I sort them. And then on top of that as well, if I have any hauls, reverse hauls that I already have duplicates of, I'll also sort them as well. Sort them out. You can make good money off of reverse hauls and hauls as well as regular rares. And then lastly as well, I will take a full-on thing for commons. Now, one thing I do want to take you guys to take into consideration is every so often there are cards that are commons that are going to be worth a decent amount of money. Now, whether it is or not you want to kind of take the time to sort out a card that's worth 8 cents, of course, it's up to you. Some people might find it worth it or not. One of my kind of rule in regards to sorting out cards specifically is I kind of look at my time that it's going to take me to sort it, as well as what is my overall turnaround profit. What I've learned is anything under 4 cents at that point, I feel like I'm losing. But with that being said, if I'm specifically going out of my way to kind of memorize sorting like 3 or 4 different cards, it can kind of be a hassle at times. So typically I'll try and choose a couple that I think are worth it based on how much they're going for. So, but for the majority of common cards, what I actually like to do is I like to sell them in bulk. Now, one of the sites that I like to use, and recently they've actually been shut down, so please bear with me as far as it goes, but the Safari Zone, for people who have never heard of them before, Safari Zone Collectibles for a while was having their bulk submissions open. Now, as you can see right now, actually it looks like they just recently opened their bulk submissions again. So with that being said, however, as you can see, they have completely drastically changed their overall bulk submission prices. So before they were going for almost upwards of around 4 cents, which is where I kind of got that price point. With that being said, the current price for bulk has really started to go down drastically in regards to, your overall net profitability. If you are someone that, wants to hold on to bulk long term, then you're like, great, I can do it. But if you're someone, that just needs to offload the product and wants to make a quick buck, every 1,000 you're making, if you're selling at Safari Zone, you're making about, $25. And for someone like myself who has opened a ton of Pokemon product and is probably sitting on around 20,000 Pokemon cards, that's about $500 for me. So of course, this is purely just this is purely just commons. This is not uncommons. This is not trainers. Once you really start getting to the math of that, then you start to look at Adventure Discovery, Cramomatics, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, with that being said, the next question is going to be, what is your next general strategy in regards to making the most of selling your bulk cards, specifically on TCG Player? So for those that don't know, I want to actually pull this off to the side because I want to make sure I'm not disclosing any information before I show you guys what I'm going to show you. But in regards, as far as it goes to selling your Pokemon singles product, when it comes to your overall way in which you do it, here, actually, I can pull this up. I will pull this up. We can take a look at it at my product catalog. So as you can see, we go to my inventory. I am a seller level 4. For those people that don't know how TCG Player works, basically they have a seller level system based on how much, based on how much you've sold with them. As you progressively sell more, you're able to add more to the site, as well as once you hit that sell level 4 program, you're able to customize a lot of the things you do on the site. So one thing I want to let people know is when it comes to shipping options, typically speaking, the standard shipping option before you hit level 4 is 99 cents. So you're going to charge 99 cents for everything. There's no option for you to offer free shipping or so on and so forth. So basically your whole kind of goal is to hit that level 4 option. Now, of course, you want to ask yourself, what is a level 4, and what does that look like? So we can go to TCG Player right now and look at level 4 and we can see kind of what the requirements on how do sellers work. So level 1, this allows you to list up to 100 total items at a time. Seller limits level 1, you can sell up to $1,000 item and can be listed at one time, and no maximum of 500 for one item. Then you have to, of course, reach the expected requirements to meet level 2. You can read that right here if you want to pause the video. Once you reach level 2, 500 total items, 5,000, 1,000, continuously growing onto the amount of items that you're able to list, as well as the amount of value these items are allowed to be worth. Once you hit level 4, like I said before, that's when you start to fully meet the requirements to be able to customize your shipping, which you might say, why do I care to customize my shipping? Well, when you are able to offer free shipping over a certain amount of dollars, then you're able to be very competitive in regards to listing product. And we can actually take a look at that as well right now in regards to the overall, adventure discovery card. So as you can see right here, when we look at adventure discovery card, when you say price plus shipping, you're looking at the lowest listed price, $1.05 plus 78 cents shipping. So the way in which the algorithm, or kind of, I don't know if you want to say the algorithm, but just the way in which the process goes for TCG Player, you can go and you can say to yourself, okay, there's an item price, this in and of itself, you do the math on it, you're saying to yourself, that's about, $1.58. And then you go back here and you say to yourself, okay, this is $1.05. Add 78 cents. This is going to cost more, right? But the way in which the algorithm works is it's going to add this, or the way in which it's going to look at is it's going to list this as the lowest listed price. Because when you look at price plus shipping, the way in which it's calculated, it does not calculate that 78 cents. So it gives you kind of an advantage once you hit that certain price point. Otherwise, if you're going purely based off of item price only, then you can be able to do that. But the majority of the time, people tend to look at price plus shipping. Plus, from a psychological perspective, people tend to prefer having free shipping in regards to when they are ordering their product, even if, it doesn't actually make sense from a financial perspective. It's just something a lot of people like to do. Now, with that being said, as you can see with the overall inventory hub, basically, it's pretty easy when in regards to managing your product. Let's just say you have a product you want to list. You can go search product, click manage that specific product. Then you say, okay, this is a product I want to sell. I haven't actually sold this product in a while. So how I like to do it, my general strategy, and I'll go in this a little bit because I don't want to go too in depth. My general strategy for how I like to do it is I say, okay, looking at the general market price, this is how much I had it listed before. I go view all live prices. That's what I like to do personally. I say to myself, okay, which edition is mine? Mine is a first edition normal, right? I say first edition normal, going for as low as 12 cents. Depending upon how you want to do it, I like to look at it as one of two ways. My personal strategy that I would recommend is I look at these as kind of buy walls, kind of like how you would see it as if you're trading like, any form of asset. You say to yourself, okay, there's a huge amount of volume going on for around 15 cents. But I know that if 3 people just come in and purchase this, then it's going to go down to that 15 cents. It's going to take a while for 15 cents to hit. So based off of that general strategy, what I will do is I will then say to myself, okay, if I just put this for 40 cents or 14 cents, then basically that's going to allow me to be above those guys, which as soon as those 3 are out of the way, then I'm going to be the next lowest listed. And then after that, then that individual who has 12 is going to take a while for them to sell all 12. And so if I were to list anywhere above that, it just feels like I'm losing money at that point. Now, of course, the next question, of course, is, let me say, of course, 3 more times, is the profitability in regards to buying your postage, buying your mail. So, of course, how serious do you want to really take this? With that being said, right now, if you go to any post office, you're going to be spending at least 55 cents in regards to getting a postage stamp. For me personally, what I like to do is I like to buy postage stamps in bulk. I spent about $2,000 not that long ago, bought about 5,000 postage stamps. Cost me about 36 cents altogether. Personal recommendation, go to eBay. That's going to be your best prices because eBay actually, if I'm correct, could be 100% off base with this. But if I am correct, they basically are subsidizing a lot of the sales of these stamps, and so you're able to find them for a lot cheaper of a rate than anywhere else typically, especially if you are buying them in such large bulk quantities. It's going to be your cheapest bet in regards to that. And then as far as it goes when buying mail, personally speaking, I tend to buy mail as well, either on eBay or buying it on Amazon. So these are things you want to keep in consideration in regards to kind of your bottom line. Now, one thing that is nice in regards to taking into consideration is if you say the cost of shipping, 78 cents, I calculated it. Typically speaking, that actual number, I would say it's closer to 80 to 82. If you are buying at the bulk rates that I'm buying at, it's basically covering the full cost. You're maybe losing 1 or 2 cents at most once you start calculating your overall fees. Because the fees you guys have to take into consideration is they have around a 10% listing fee. I mean, we can actually look at this right now. We can go back to home. We can take a look at individual seller fees. And for those people that are interested, here is my overall positive rating. This is how much I've been doing this for, just in case people are curious. Here are your overall fees. Marketplace commission fees, 10.5% plus 2.5%. Non-pro seller, once you get less, but then you get an additional pro fee, so you want to take that in consideration. At the end of the day, you're basically paying around 14.25%. Which when you calculate that, we can go back and we can take a look at a card like Adventure Discovery. You're saying to yourself $.78. You say to yourself times 0.1425 equals about 25 cents. Minus that from 1.78. So this is going to be what your actual profitability rate is. So get rid of the negative. And then you say to yourself, okay, I'm spending about 36 cents on postage. Oh, whoopsie, that was wrong. Minus 0.36 cents on postage. Then you're also going to be spending an additional 2 cents, typically if you're buying in bulk, on the overall letter itself. And so you're looking at around $1.14 when you start to calculate everything at the end of the day. You then say to yourself, okay, how much was this going for? Oh, $1.05 plus 78. Oh, what do you know? I actually profit off of it. So, of course, there are other factors that goes into it in regards to your profitability rate. It's more than just, your shipping stamp as well. Depending upon how expensive the card is, you're going to also be having to do top loaders. If it is a top loader, you can add an extra, subtract another 6 cents to that, depending upon how much you're buying it for. Typically, I can get it for no less than 6 cents. Then you also say a penny sleeve, do the math. It's going to be for less than a penny. So realistically, you're only making about 2 cents once you start adding in those factors. Of course, as you have more and more cards that you're, adding in, your expenses are going to go up. But that is kind of my general strategy. That is kind of the cost, benefit analysis you have to kind of do to yourself. Obviously, if you're not buying in bulk, things are going to be more expensive and you want to have a general strategy for what that kind of looks like. But that's just the general basics. So step number 2. When looking at the overall kind of medium term and more or less of the, okay, I'm just trying to continuously bankroll. So we actually had a conversation on this on one of my live streams. I'm going to be doing those on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to try and shoot for noon. Obviously, times may vary depending upon what I have going on through that day. But with that being said, we had a conversation where someone asked me the most efficient way to kind of generate, if I had $1,000, what's the most efficient way to just kind of flip and turn a profit? So one of the things that I kind of made an argument for, and I'd actually talked about this a little bit when I was talking about some of my favorite picks for Pokemon product to invest in. One of the things that I had mentioned to people is I said, hey man, if I'm being completely honest with you, if you look at kind of what's happened in the past, and we can take a look at this too. Here, I'm going to sell out of this because we don't need to be looking at this anymore. But I was telling people, hey, if you look at the actual floor in regards to the Fusion Strike Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, it's around $72. You're buying it for around $50, free shipping after you've ordered a certain amount. And so when you look at the overall profitability rate of this box in and of itself, you're starting off at a profit even after you consider, shipping and fees. Now, with that being said, if we're going to be looking at the historical, trend, and of course, take everything I say with a grain of salt because, of course, Evolving Skies is not the same as this set and it's not the same as Celebrations. But as you can see, Celebrations prices have also gone up and Fusion Strike seems to also be steadily going up, even though, of course, the fact of the matter, you can still purchase this. Taking a look at the Evolving Skies, the set in and of itself came out in late August, and you're telling me that if I look at this booster box, for example, specifically, the lowest price that I'm actually going to realistically be able to buy it for is around $112, right? So you say to yourself, if I went and I had the opportunity to buy it for $50, right? And you're saying $112. That's about 20% return is what it's going for around. And so you say to yourself, okay, August, September, October, November, December, January, and now we're in February. It's been 5 months since, and you get 100% return. Now, of course, there's no guarantee that every single Elite Trainer box is going to do that. Obviously, as you can see with the Chili Rain Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box exclusive, it's not going for the same price. The counter argument I would make to the reason why it's not going for that much has less to do with the fact of the matter that, oh, the Chilling Rain exclusive, you know, it's not a cool box, but more to the fact of the matter that the original box, for those people that don't know, there was an error in it where they did not put the proper amount of packs in it, and so it is not truly the, you know, Pokemon Center variation that kind of a lot of people were expecting. Not to mention the artwork design is not very different. Fusion Strike, however, has a very different coloring, a very different kind of design to it, and I really enjoy it. Of course, you know, the image itself is the same, but with that being said, if we were to take this general theoretical strategy, of course, nothing is guaranteed, how I would like to look at it in regards to, you know, kind of that 5 month to 6 month, medium-term, short-term time turnaround, you have multiple options on how you want to go about selling it. You can go with the strategy of, okay, go to TCG Player, you're going to bite the bullet, we'll say $112, right? You're going to say your fees are going to be, so we're just going to calculate how much would be remaining. Obviously, we calculated about, you know, it was about 14.25, so we just want to take 100 minus 14.25. You can check me on the math on that, but if I'm correct, it's 85.75. So with that being said, $96 is what's going to be your remainder after fees. Then you subtract, more than likely for selling one box, you're going to be spending around $10 at most, I would say. Actually, it's going to be around $10 to $11, but we'll say $10 just to be safe in regards to the overall shipping cost. And then you're going to be spending about anywhere between $1 or less, depending upon how much you're buying for bulk. So that's going to come out to around $85. So you say to yourself, bought it for around 50. So 85, so you do 50 divided by 85 equals, there's your general profits that you're going to be making on it. So it's almost around 60%. So that is something that you want to take into consideration. Now, of course, with that being said, let's say hypothetically speaking, you spend $1,000, right? And you bought 20 of these boxes. Now you say to yourself, okay, 5 months, 35%, right? We just want to keep multiplying this. We just add 350 bucks because that's 35%, right? That's 5 months, right? Then you want to take this number and then you want to times it by 1.35. $1,800. Then you want to times it again by 1.35. Then you want to times it again by 1.35. Now, within about 2 years of you doing this strategy, you have started off with $1,000 and you're now sitting at over triple profit if you continue this general strategy. Of course, once again, like I said, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just all hypothetical theory, but this is something that I would say you can generally apply to a lot of product. You can make the same even argument for Evolving Skies if you bought it in at $100. This is not just, you know, exclusive to these Evolving Skies. I'm sorry, the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. If you're saying to yourself, you got Evolving Skies booster boxes for around $100, of course you're not going to be making the same amount of margins. And once again, this is if you're selling purely off a TCG Player with their fees. If you're able to sell the Pokemon Center exclusive for less on an offsite, then you can add more to that margin. If you want to say you have the same exact strategy for the Evolving Skies booster boxes, right? Saying it's $130, you want to do the math, you're saying 0.8575 equals, that's around 111. Of course, going again, you're saying minus 10. It's one of these things where you're not really going to be making anywhere near as much as the Pokemon Center exclusive. But with that being said, if you were to do something like selling it off site, or if you were to do something like, or if you were to sell it on your own website like myself, which of course most people are in that position, we're not really talking about those specific, and you were able to just kind of subtract an additional, you know, $10 off of the overall fees, then you still be walking away with at least, you know, a 10 to 15%. But of course, you're saying to yourself, I'm doing all this work for 10 to 15%, or I'm offloading all this product just to be eaten up by fees. It's not really worth it, which is why you got to really look at your time cost analysis in regards to product like Evolving Skies booster boxes, which is why I've been saying Pokemon Center exclusives, personally speaking, are, in my personal opinion, a lot better of a long-term investment. Of course, with that being said, going back and taking a look at Evolving Skies booster boxes, we're still going to use the same market analytical data in regards to the overall price. As you guys can see, back then it almost hit, actually it did sell at one point for as high as almost $200. So you say to yourself, using the same theory, obviously we can't use it at this current price as we just calculated. But if we were to say, okay, booster box went for around $200, we calculate the fact of the matter that it got $200 You want to multiply it by 0.8575 equals 171 minus your $10 in shipping. That's about a 60% gain, which is around the same as the Pokemon Center exclusively trainer box. So you got to take that in consideration. And if you want to take a look at from the pre-release to the official release, when it kind of really started to come out, the overall value of the box at its low was going for around 125, and it went all the way up. Now, of course, if you are someone like myself who's able to get access to cheaper prices, this is obviously something you want to take into consideration when kind of calculating your, cost, analysis. But with that being said, I'm just saying if you bought it for $100 and it would go back up to that $200 price point. Of course, there's no guarantee it's going to get up to that price point in the next couple months, but it is to show you that literally from the pre-release to the official release of the card itself, it saw a massive dip and then all the way went up and nearly doubled its price. That's something that's important to take into consideration because this is a very volatile market. So when you look at these kind of medium-term options in regards to calculating your kind of cost-benefit analysis, this is something that is going to be more along the lines of you doing your calculations for yourself. If hypothetically speaking, you did happen to get Evolving Skies booster box for $100 and then were able to, analyze the fact of the matter that it went to, or at $100 and then it goes to 200 and you were saying to yourself, okay, is now the time to offload? Well, here's the deal, man. If you're knowing that this set is more than likely going to get a reprint sometime soon, then you can calculate to yourself, okay, then I want to sell this product now, because if it does happen to go back down to $100 like it did, then you're going to be looking at it from a time cost analysis perspective. Time cost analysis being, okay, let's say that I do hold it from $100 to $500. It only takes several years, but the amount of volatility that came and the amount of buying opportunities for you to offload that product to increase your bankroll, you're going to be missing out on those opportunities. So you want to really, of course, try and understand your opportunities to increase your bankroll in the time of the volatile swings of up and down, up and down, up and down, as well as being able to get on those opportunities when the prices do correct. Now, of course, this transitions into the fact matter of, okay, Eli, well, what if I bought on too high of a price? Or, okay, Eli, what if, say, Pokemon Center exclusively trainer boxes, for example, they're not going to get the same level of reprints as Evolving Skies booster boxes are because they are exclusive to the Pokemon Center. Now, with that being said, we're going to our 3 to 5 year strategy. So with that being said, 3 to 5 year strategy, honestly, is really, I'm going to kind of dumb it down and make it as simple as possible for people to understand. I want you to know that when I say 3 to 5 years, I don't literally mean 3 to 5 years. The overall market cycle from what we've seen in the terms of general Pokemon demand has been historically around 3 to 5 years. You want to take a look at the last one that we had. It was 2016. It went all the way until around late 2017. That was when it finally had its correction. You then see yourself 2018, 2019, 2020. It's about a quick turnaround time of about 3 years. You say that to yourself, okay, within that 3 to 5 year gap, if you had held until the end of 2022, making it a 4th year, then within that span, you would have made an absolute killing in the last bear market cycle. So it's more or less, we look at cycles than we do looking at time frames. So for me, when it comes to how I like to have my investment strategies, this might sound really rhetorical, but I buy when it's a bear market and I sell when it's a bull market. And it might sound as simple as it is, but for a lot of people, it's not, because a lot of the times when it is that kind of bull market mentality, everyone wants to FOMO in, everyone wants to get in because they don't want to miss out on the opportunity to make a quick flip. And if you find a good risk reward strategy for yourself, then by all means, I'm never going to stop you because there's so many different ways to make money. And so with that being said, if you can make money off of it, great. But for my personal strategy, how I tend to look at this is I look at this strategy typically from a medium to long-term perspective when it comes to offloading product. When it came to the product that I had been holding for, and if to be honest with you, I didn't have a huge bankroll when I first started off before the 2020 boom. So this is something that realistically I've really started to double down as I've realized how much you can truly make off of this and how much I've made off of Pokemon product itself. I'm gonna actually do a video one of these days where I break down what I have as far as it goes in my overall collection sealed, and we can kind of do a video recording as well, and you guys can see how crazy my garage looks like, because we're going to have to talk about how you're going to store all this product in our next video. So with that being said, of course, when going back to the overall topic, it's more or less market cycles. When a market cycle finds its bottom, that's when I try and look at opportunities. And so for me, when I kept preaching Evolving Skies, $100, $100, $100, in my personal opinion, that was my opinion on the overall bottom. Now, with that being said, as you guys are aware, I believe there's going to be Evolving Skies booster box reprints in the near future. With that being said, I don't predict it to happen this month. I don't predict it to happen next month. And I don't predict it to happen the following month. I could be wrong. They could end up having another, reprint in the next, couple of months. But with that being said, I expect Evolving Skies booster boxes to hit 150 before we get a reprint. Could be 100% off base with that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it were to happen. Now with that, of course, being said, understanding the general strategy that I gave you guys with medium term. As we calculated, when you're talking about the overall short-term strategy, it's not going to be profitable for you at this current price point to sell at 130 if you are using the fee strategy. Now, of course, the fee strategy means selling on TCG Player. Now, of course, if you hit 150, then it is going to be more profitable. Now, with that being said, you also have different ways of going about it. Personally, I never recommend selling your full, offloading your full amount of product. Because hypothetically speaking, if the price were to go the following month to 170 and there isn't another reprint, and you sold everything already, you just missed out on some more opportunity to offload at a higher price. And hypothetically speaking, if you did end up having a reprint the following month and you did end up selling it, half of it at 150, and then it goes back down and you missed out on half, well, guess what? All it is another opportunity for you to double down, and you're still locking in profit that you would have gained from your initial selling at that bottom price because you calculated your risk reward opportunity in the medium term. So this is something that I like to consider in regards to Evolving Skies booster boxes, and this is also the general same strategy I myself am personally going to have with the Pokemon Center exclusively trainer boxes. I myself am buying X amount. I won't disclose how much I'm buying. Eventually, I'll disclose it as I continue to grow, but I'm not really level yet. But I am buying a certain amount of product. I'm not going to say two because I don't want people to get under the impression of I must be allocating this amount. I don't want to, of course, like I said before, and I've said it 1,000 times and it's a meme at this point, I want people to make their own decisions when it comes to their finances. Obviously, I know I'm going to make an influence on that, but I want it to be your own decision. I want it to be something where you're not going to come to me and be like, Eli, I listened to you and I did this and I got screwed. Well, then you shouldn't listen to me, man, because I've told you 1,000 times I'm not a financial advisor, but if you've made money, then that's fantastic. If you haven't, then you're going to have to look and say, why didn't you? Or is it because you had a different strategy than me? Did you have your own strategy? There's so many different things you have to factor in, and it's one of those things where I want you to be able to make those own decisions for yourself. And of course, you can take my advice from what I say and into consideration whether you agree with it or not. So when it comes to general strategy with the Pokemon Center exclusively trainer boxes, I'm going to be following the general strategy I just pointed out to you guys. I'm going to be offloading a little bit once I start to see in the medium term it's got a really good turnaround price. What that price could be honestly varies based on the overall kind of explosive nature of the booster boxes, because as you guys can see, product can go up within the span of a week up 30% like it's nothing. And so honestly, if it's one of those things where you guys want me to give you a price point, I can say 100% turnaround time after fees where it becomes valuable, and then I just continue to bankroll that within the next 1 to 2 years. But with that being said, I can't really give you a confirmed price point estimate because as we've seen historically speaking, it can go up or it can go down a lot more in certain time frames. So, of course, with that being said, question now remains, is that strategy going to remain true for specifically every single product that I'm going to be purchasing in regards to Pokemon Center exclusively trainer boxes? Basically, yeah, because if this is something I will say, whether I follow this medium-term strategy or I look at this long-term strategy, because of course I will always hold product for long-term. I'm not always going to be offloading medium-term product. I do think that there is some virtue in regards to selling product and holding in bull market and bear market cycles while you also are creating your medium-term growth. But with that being said, I'm going to continue to buy these Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box exclusives at each and every set. If the set is another Battle Styles type set that doesn't perform well, I don't care. I'm going to buy it anyway because in my personal opinion, it's going to perform better long term. And hypothetically speaking, if I'm going to have to make myself a Rudy's bathroom, then I'm going to make myself a Rudy's bathroom for these Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box exclusives. And when you see sets like, Roaring Skies or Primal Clash, they get heavily printed, and then they end up going in the peak of the bull market to almost $500, then I'm going to say to myself, okay, the cost analysis for this was worth it. Because at the end of the day, even though in the short term I'm going to be wrong, because the fact of the matter is these sets ended up absolutely not performing really well, then that's okay, because in the long term, I know I'm going to hit, even if I'm not going to return as much as I would like, I'm going to return a profit, which is at the end of the day, one of the most important things in this market is survival. That's one of the things a lot of people talk about in regards to why a lot of professional people, or I shouldn't say professional people, but people tend to fail trying to be professional traders is because a lot of the times people take too much risk. They take too much of an emotional stance on what they tend to do. And on top of the fact of the matter, they tend to put way too much leverage into regards to wow, I'm going to just fumble my words. Sorry about that. In regards to what they are going to be trading. And with that being said, the last thing you want to do is putting too much money on the line. Wow, I am so sorry. I'm fumbling my words so much there for the last second. You don't want to put more than you're willing to lose. And with that being said, it's a slow and steady win the race kind of strategy. And you might say to yourself, slow and steady, I want everything now. But that's not how life works. For those people that happen to invest in Dogecoin and Shiba, when you had the opportunity to invest and you made a killing, congratulations. But for the general public, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's, I think the fact of the matter that you can tell me in the next 3 to 5 years, you can get a 10x return on a lot of this product, hypothetically speaking, of course. I think that's still a greedy statement to say. And with that being said, for those people that are saying, oh, 3 to 5 years I have to wait to get a 10x return, that's unheard of in the stock market, guys. So for those people that are wanting to immediately like 1,000x everything, like you guys got to be able to understand you're going to want to put in some work to be able to increase your bankroll. And then on top of that, at the end of the day, when you're saying to yourself how much you're going to be losing if you are playing at risk, if your strategy tends to be wrong and the price does go down and there happens to be a reprint and you put all this on a credit card, then you're going to be screwed. And at the end of the day, it's all about survival. It's all about staying alive and having those strategies to turn a profit. The most successful people in this world in regards to investing is they play the short-term and medium-term game and they continue to increase their bankroll. And then when it comes to, let's say, economic crashes or collapses, that's when they double down, and instead of selling the bag, they hold on to it long-term. And then once they get the opportunity to reflip and make another profit, that's when they cash out, because they didn't decide to over leverage themselves and get absolutely eaten up by taking too much, credit, or get eaten up because they took too much leverage on a trade. These are the people that have a general understanding of risk reward analysis and making sure what their tolerance is and how they're not going to lose everything off of going in too much. Understanding how you're going to strategize what the overall plan is for offloading when the time is to offload. This is something that I just want people to really understand, because this is something that is super duper important that I myself have learned the hard way. I have learned the hard way. If I'm being completely honest, the amount of money that I've made in this market, I've made several $100,000 both off of investing in Pokemon cards as well as crypto. But if I'm being completely honest, when I first started off in the market, I lost about $75,000 and it was a slap in the face. Now, that's just the reality of the situation. And that was something that I had to learn from. And it's something that because of it, I've learned from it, I've grown from it, and I've been able to recoup my losses and make on the back end of that. But of course, for a lot of people, I'd much rather have you guys learn from my experience and understand my strategies in regards to why I take less risk, or my general strategies to prevent kind of risk in regards to losing, because I don't want you guys to be in that situation where you make an absolute killing and then you lose all that profit because you get too greedy like I did when I made that mistake. Because I learned from it. And if I hadn't made that mistake, then I'd probably be sitting at this point upwards of $250,000. But of course, I made that mistake. And because of that, I had to learn from it. And it was a painful mistake, but at the end of the day, it's helped me grow in the process of my financial future in regards to my aspirations to hopefully, continue to grow my Pokemon empire, as well as, understanding the overall, growth that I'm going to have as an individual, whether it be in life and my understanding of my emotions and my general strategy, or just as an overall investor at the end of the day. So basically, the whole point of me saying this is everyone wants to talk about their wins, but no one wants to talk about their losses. And so I'm here to tell you from a humbled perspective, please understand your risks, and please make sure that when you do these general strategies, have a plan. Backtest that strategy. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then learn a new strategy, and make sure that if you're wrong small, and if you're big large, because that's how you're going to make the most money, and that's how you're going to preserve the most capital when it comes to your losses. Now, hopefully a lot of this makes sense. This is a longer video. It's a 40-minute video. I apologize if it went on for too long. This is one I really wanted to get you guys to kind of grasp, understand. It's one that a lot of people have been asking me questions about. in regards to all their different ways to offload their product, short term, medium term, long term. Obviously, you can look at it from a different perspective. Instead of time frames, you can look at it from the perspective of I'm just offloading certain product at certain price points, however you want to look at it. At the end of the day, this is just general strategies for offloading product, how you're going to do it, whether it be singles, whether it be sealed. But either way, it's just important strategies for you guys, in my personal opinion, to understand. And I hope you guys truly take away what I've been really preaching in this video. Now, with that being said, that is all I have for today's video. As always, please make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and be subscribed to the YouTube channel if you want to be entered into our weekly giveaways. Of course, we are giving away 8 Fusion Strike booster packs to 3 separate winners. With that, of course, we're going to be continuing to increase the amount that we're going to be giving away, going to 12 per winner once we hit that $2,500 subscriber mark. Can't thank you guys enough, as we just recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and I don't plan on us stopping anytime soon. Wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. And of course, as I've mentioned before many a times, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, you can enter in by just liking and commenting each time, which allows you for up to 3 entries. So a lot of opportunities to win. And like I said before as well, my general strategy is going to be the Mr. Beast kind of strategy, of where I'm just going to be taking everything I make off of monetization now that I'm officially monetized, and I'm going to be just putting it back into giving more and more product away for you guys, and trying to improve the content as much as I can as we continue the growth of this channel. Now, that is all I have for this video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Until then, I will see you guys on Monday. Peace.